Heyo folks, welcome back to a new Comics Corner. Today's book that we are going to talk about is Gun Honey, Blood for Blood. This is done by the same creative team that did the first volume of Gun Honey, so we get definitely more of the same. But before we dive into today's review, if you could please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps out the channel a whole bunch. And I always fail to mention that we do have a Discord, so link to join that in the description below. This comic picks up with somebody breaking into this beautiful mansion, I believe in Nebraska, and we're led to believe that this is Joanna, aka the Gun Honey, but we quickly learn that it is not. It's a imposter trying to frame Joanna. So this story is very much more of a noir detective story, I think more so than the first one. Throughout this book, Brooke and Joanna are just trying to figure out who and why is framing Gun Honey for all these other crimes that we later learn is tied to this imposter, so to speak. And so we get taken on a journey with this one, I will say. So the characters of this book. So we have Joanna, aka the Gun Honey, and not much has changed in her life since we last saw her at the end of the first volume. You know, she's still like on vacation, and I believe where this book picks up, she's been on vacation now for like 6 months or so. Brooke, we still have Brooke, Joanna's kind of sidekick, who works for a federal agency. I believe it's the CIA, but I'm not 100% sure. And something has changed in his life. He got promoted to the director of that federal agency. So now he's kind of the top dog, and he seeks Joanna out, still on vacation, to inform her like, hey, you're being framed. So we do have some other characters, but that, I'm afraid, is kind of getting into spoiler territory. So I want to leave that up to you guys to discover when you do go through and read this book. So the good of the book, what I really enjoyed or loved about this book. Now, I will say it's definitely more of the same, to be honest. So depending on whether or not you enjoyed the first one, I think will determine whether or not you enjoy this one as well. Obviously, for my latest review, I really enjoyed the first one. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And I do think that this second volume is on the same level as the first. I don't think it's a major upgrade or downgrade, and it's very much on equal footing as the first volume. So I really enjoyed this story. I will say we do get a little bit more of the relationship between Joanna and then Brooke as well. That's a little bit more fleshed out, and I think we begin to kind of learn the dynamics of that relationship here more so in the first one. And I enjoy it. You know, it's not so far it's more platonic than anything. And there is kind of hints and teases that maybe it will lead into something more. Honestly, I could go either way with that. I think the way they have it set up now, I think it works for that way where it could bleed into more of a romantic relationship, but if it doesn't, I'm not going to be like, "Whoa, that's weird. Why did they not do that?" I think this is a stronger detective story or pulp noir story than the first one. I was a little bit more invested in the detective aspect of it, or the mystery, I guess you could say, than I was with the first one as well. There is no like big reveal or big twist. There are a lot of smaller kind of twists and turns, which I think are very well done here. But there is no like big reveal like there was in the first one. At least I felt like. But I don't think that's necessarily a fault to the book or anything like that. I think this detective story is more solid throughout. And I think, in my opinion, it's a little stronger overall. I still love the artwork. It's done by the same artist and same colorist. I think it still works beautifully for this story. If you like the artwork in the first one, you're gonna like it here. It's like I said, overall, all aspects of this book is just kind of more of the same of the first one. So the not so good, the things I didn't really enjoy. Now, to be completely honest with you, there's not too many things that I didn't enjoy. There was really only like one thing that stuck out to me and kind of took me out of the book. And I guess I'm a little biased, but I will kind of hold it against the book in this case because it was overall a creative decision by the creator, the creatives. And it's the 2-page, uh, I don't know how you would describe it, like panel spreads where you read the panels across 2 pages instead of just one. Um, I don't love it when comics do that. I think it can be somewhat effective at times, but for example, like in Something's Killing the Children, that's used a lot. And even there, I do enjoy that book quite a bit. It's one of my favorite ongoing series as of right now. It doesn't even work for me there. I think it's definitely a little overplayed. In here, it's used a few times, and I think I just don't like how that reads. I much prefer more of a, I guess, a standard way of reading a comic where you do one page at a time. I think in my opinion, it just reads a lot better. Um, because we are so used to reading a page one at a time. We're not used to kind of like combining the 2 pages. So sometimes, and this has happened to me, and maybe I'm just a bit of a goofball. I don't know. Um, where I'll just read it like one page and then I'll get to the bottom of the first page. I'll be like, or halfway through, I'll be like, this doesn't make sense. What's going on? And then my brain will like catch up with my eyes, and I'll be like, oh wait, no, it's a full 2 pages. Like I said, maybe that's completely like just a bias thing, and it's completely subjective. I'm curious to know maybe what you guys think of those choices when it comes to that, and maybe have you seen it work in any other sort of book? The only other example, I'm sure there's a plenty of others, but one that sticks out to me is with Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, where he does use like the 2 pages effectively. Um, doesn't necessarily have split them up in a more traditional sense. Uh, and also you have to like turn the page if we're reading that, which is a whole nother thing. Anyhow, so yeah, that's really the only bad thing I could think of about this book. So my overall thoughts and opinions are, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I believe there's a third volume out. I think there's like 2 spin-offs, maybe only one, Heat Seeker, which I do have up here. Um, I do plan on reading that eventually, probably not right now. But yeah, I really like this series a lot. I think it's an awesome action detective mystery story with a badass female lead. And like I said, if you enjoyed the first one, I think you'll enjoy this one just as much. It's like I said, kind of more of the same, but I like it. It works for me. So that is going to do it for today's Comics Corner. Please like, comment, subscribe if you have not done so already, all that good jazz. And let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Have you read this series? Do you plan on checking it out? I'd be very curious to know. So we will catch you in the next Comics Corner. Take care, folks.